Hi, I'm John, and I'm taking you behind the future.
Welcome to another episode of Behind the Future. I'm Becky, your host, and I am joined by the wonderful Dylan as my co-host.
Hello, I'm Dylan. I am an A-level student at Maidstone Girls Grammar School, and I am studying politics, computer science and business.
Fantastic, Dylan. Well, it's lovely to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here.
And we have an even more wonderful guest, John Harvey. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, hi, lovely to be here. I'm John. I work for Capita as Head of AI Ops.
Fantastic. Looking forward to delving into that. So, over to you, Dylan.
Awesome. So I saw going into this on the brief that you went straight into work after school. What does that mean? Did you go into an apprenticeship? Did you not go into post-16 education? Did you go straight to work or...?
Yeah, so I did go to post-16 education
Awesome.
at Maidstone Grammar School.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I did my A-levels there. So at school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do for a career. I met lots of people around, trying to tell you what you should be, and I knew I wanted to be in engineering in some form. Okay. I just didn't know what that would take. That's kind of where I was when I started my post education, and then kind of one day my dad said, "What are you going to do?"
I don't know.
I think he was a bit annoyed with me in the house. What are you going to do? Because if you don't find anything, I have something for you.
Oh, well. Yeah.
And so, my first job was working for the company that he had worked for and that he had worked for many years. And that was in a data center. That was what I did, shift work in a data center, cool. My first job. Yeah.
And what was that actually like? Analysing data or sorting data or?
So data centers are a bit different in the early 2000s than they are now. We didn't have cloud. We had AI. AI's been around for a while, but not as we know it now. So a data center back then was a lot of printing. We were printing payslips and checks and all those kind of things because print was, in a data center and part of IT. And we were taking backups of systems with physical tapes, and the tapes would go off site, Okay, yeah. So lots of things we take for granted now in IT, like cloud backup and all that that didn't exist. So there was a lot of manual work. That's cool. In the data center. So it was good fun. Night shifts were a bit of a slog sometimes, but systems had to be monitored and kept up. Yeah. That's where I started, where it all started for me.
Cool. And how did you go from that into AI operations? It seems like quite a jump.
Yeah, it has. So I've been with the same company since that time, cool. 24 years now. Yeah. But in that time, lots of things have changed. So the company has changed, the IT industry has changed. And along that way, there have been several opportunities for me to explore different paths. So like I said, I was like an operator to begin with, like hands-on operator. And then moved more into engineering and support, and then eventually into architecture and design. And now I'm not so much hands-on, or I do like to stay hands-on, but now I'm kind of leading developers, and we're exploring new ways to use AI in our business. So lots of different roles at different transformation points in the company and the industry along the way.
Cool. And is that something that you had to push to happen? Were you really ambitious and you were knocking on doors going, I need to do more of this? Or did you have someone helping push you and guide you, or a bit of both potentially?
So I am very ambitious, and I like to drive myself forward, always looking for new opportunities. But a lot of the mentors and the people around me over the years have kind of seen potential in me, I would say. So they have been the pushers. And I've learned like hard work and determination from those mentors and people around me. I've always had those people that really want to work hard and push themselves. So that's kind of rubbed off on me. But I'm always looking for what's the next thing I can do. Is the thing I'm currently doing keeping me happy, or do I need to go and find something else to keep me learning? I think that's the key thing, to keep learning all the time.
Yeah. And how does that learning show up when you're at work? Because I guess a lot of people would think to go into engineering, I must have to have a degree, or I have to have done an apprenticeship. But obviously you're here proof that that's not true. But I'm sure you've had to do things along the way to upskill.
So at school, I didn't really like learning.
Most of us don't at school.
I know.
It's that forced learning at school, isn't it?
And I could never relate it back to like meaningful things in the real world. It was all theory based and very limited amount of practical. So when I got into the real world of Capita, and we have real customers and we look after citizens and all this, everything had a much more of an importance, and the learning that I was kind of undertaking had a real impact in the real world. So I guess that's what's given me the new taste for learning, and in the last few years I've done apprenticeships still at 40, right? So
crazy.
And going back and getting my degree level equivalent. So I don't think you have to do them when you're straight out of school. You can still do them when you're 40. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I think it's not necessarily the badges or the certificates you get through taking these courses and apprenticeships. It's the process that you go through, the learning that you undertake. So yeah, I'm always very much growth mindset, looking to learn new things when I can.
Love that.
Awesome.
What so from being like a manual operator to like, where did that go as a next stage, and how do you go about, I guess, if you were ambitious, how, if a young person sitting here thinking, oh, I'm in a company, or maybe I'm doing a small job at the moment and I want to do more, like, how do you knock on those doors to go, help me get more, I want to do more? Is it trying to show that you can do it, or is it asking for opportunities? So
I would say showing that you can do it. So being able to build something that has a real world use case, AI system, any type of system or product or service, being able to build that, demonstrate it, and really showing senior people around you what the impact that can have, and creating like a wow factor, like a real wow factor. Our CEO says AI at the moment is very much people experimenting, and the way he coined it was like, oh, you built something, that's cute. He wants wow, like what you've built is amazing. So being able to build stuff and demo it and showcase what you've built, why you've built it, the considerations you've made in building it, I think is really, really good, because then people can, that's in, right, what John had his day job, this was his day job, he's then gone and built this thing that he wasn't asked to do, he's seen a need for it, he's shown the impact, she's got something about them,
Love that. And are you starting to dabble with, because you're doing computer science?
I'm doing computer science,
yeah.
So it's officially not on the course yet, but my teacher, she likes to take us beyond the curriculum.
Good.
So I think she's starting a Java club quite soon, and also she does like to intertwine generative AI and how those systems learn into what we're learning in the course. Like, she'll apply it onto the structures of like ChatGPT or Gemini. Yeah.
Really interesting, isn't it? Because you can't really move now in the world of work without bumping into AI somewhere. And I guess, as you say, it's been around a lot longer than I think people realise. That most people think of it from the generative AI, which has been over the last few years that ChatGPT and the like have really hit everybody. Like, I think it doesn't matter what. I mean, my dad in his 70s is now well into his ChatGPT, and I mean, I've stopped getting as many questions, which is kind of handy, because I think he just asked ChatGPT, which is brilliant. But yeah, so tell us, like, when were you first interested in AI? When did that first pop up in your role and day to day?
Yeah, so I think personally it was that wow moment, like that first time I launched ChatGPT, and I think I used it to make a recipe or something like that, right? I just looked in the cupboard and I said, make me a recipe, and from these ingredients, what dinner can we have tonight? And I was just amazed by like how it could do that. And then the second one was again at home with my son. He wanted his bedtime story. He said, we've read all these, Dad, can you make me a new one? And I said, okay, give me some characters, and I made a story for him there and then. So from that I was like, right, this is really powerful. How do we make this business ready? And then at work in Capita we have like two use cases for AI. We have what we call everyday AI, which almost all colleagues use. So managing your inbox, your co-pilot that's always there to help you. And then we have like enterprise AI, right? So systems we're building to help citizens with citizen experience, or help our contact center agents be more efficient and productive. And so, yeah, it's just that's where my interest in it came from, basically. And I think now these days as well, there aren't really any more individual contributors in businesses anymore. Everybody has agents and tools like at their disposal. So it's learning how to treat your virtual team to help you progress and make you more productive and efficient. And the best and most successful people will be those that manage their virtual team alongside their physical team in the best possible way. I think that's
so interesting.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this for a while, that actually it's going to become interesting when people want to move jobs if they've got their tech stack that they're used to using. So for example, I use Fixer with my inbox, and that's managing bits for me. ChatGPT is my preference for helping me write, etc. If I go to a new job and they say, oh no, you can't use that, then actually I probably would drop out of that process, because I'm like, well, no, I come with my tech stack. I need my tech stack to get the best out of me. That's what I'm used to doing.
Yep.
So actually we're suddenly going to have people having real kind of, whereas previously you probably wouldn't have even thought about it till day one you turn up at the job and they give you a laptop and you're like, oh, okay, what are we using? Suddenly tech's becoming really ingrained into who we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the same can be said for people as well, right? If you were to move to another company, sometimes you would want to bring some colleagues with you.
Yeah.
That could be really important to your success and the relationships you have. But I think we need to learn how to use different tools, because they all have different strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. But you're right. I think bigger organisations and corporations need to be more understanding that the tool set is so diverse. So if you want to get the most out of your people, then allow them the freedom to use what tools suit what use cases, and they should be open to hearing what people are using and how well it's working, and perhaps adopt that more widely across the company.
Definitely. So you guys use Microsoft Copilot. That's a big one. And I know a lot of, especially in the kind of corporate space, a lot of organisations will be using that. And how have you seen adoption across the wider teams? Because obviously in your team, the engineering team, it's kind of just, it's natural to want to go and play with these things. Have you seen it feel that natural throughout the business, or has there been a real kind of process to ingrain AI?
Yeah, so we use Copilot a lot. We also use Google Gemini, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Amazon, like all of the big cloud hyperscalers now can give you generative AI capability, and you can build agents there. So a lot of our focus has been on building agents. Capita is a business process outsourcer, right? So we run processes for people and organizations that feel we could do it more efficiently than them. So the key to us is how much of that can we automate? How do we empower our people with the right agents and tools so that they can be more productive, more efficient, increase their satisfaction at work, create better experiences for citizens and customers? And for Copilot, we have like a big champion program. So the idea here is that even non-technical people or people not that confident with using IT systems can be supported by champions in their local business that can help them design agents in a safe, secure way, and really get the most value out of the product. So, yeah. Because
Capita's huge, isn't it? I mean, how many employees?
I think about 35,000 across 8 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So actually, when you're trying to evoke change and get people on board with something, it's not like, let's just pull everyone into all teams meeting.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of people to bring on the journey.
I think that the scale of customers we touch as well, like I read something last week that every UK citizen will be touched on a weekly basis by Capita in some way, shape or form because of the scale of processes that we run. So the opportunity is there, to improve that citizen experience across utilities, contact center, all that kind of stuff. It's huge for us. So we're positioning ourselves as being like the best first AI-enabled BPO in the UK. That's what we want to be.
Amazing.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Do you feel like your role now is one that's going to sustain its significance for the years to come, or do you think as the workscape evolves in corporate work, head of AI operations, it won't be like a thing anymore? It'll be more incorporated into general IT.
Great question. I hope so.
And if John's boss is listening, definitely needed for a long, long time.
So the way I think of AI operations is the stuff below the sea in terms of an iceberg, right? So everybody wants the clever stuff that automates and makes things efficient and creates generative content and all this kind of stuff. The stuff underneath the iceberg is like your cloud infrastructure, your data, your retrieval augmentation systems, your MCP servers. No one really cares necessarily about them until they go wrong, or there's a security incident, or something doesn't work. So AI operations is like, right, the roads are clear today, there's no traffic, then all the road workers have done their job, right? So AI ops is about making sure that everybody can use AI quickly, efficiently, safely, securely, and kind of just keeping everything running, making sure it's governed, we've got the right certifications in place, compliance, all that kind of stuff. So it's not the most interesting, but in terms of the work that we are responsible for doing, but without it, then it is there would be chaos, and we wouldn't, as a business, we wouldn't win new contracts because people wouldn't be assured that the system we're designing is guards against bias, discrimination, fairness, all those kind of things. So yeah, it's vitally important, and I think we're one of the first organisations to kind of really double down on governance and security. I think others will follow, so I think everybody will have a role that's in charge of this kind of thing in the future.
It's really interesting because you say also it's not interesting, but you obviously find it interesting,
I find it interesting,
and your team find it interesting. And I think embracing the fact that actually it doesn't have to be the sexy cool stuff all the time. It doesn't have to,
good way to put it.
It doesn't. Like for a young person that's sitting there at the moment thinking, oh, I don't want to tell my mates I want to go do this thing because it doesn't sound sexy and cool. Well, there's plenty of jobs out there that don't fit that bracket, but are really important, vital roles. And if you find it interesting, that's all that matters. The barometer is you, and can I turn up to work every day and do this and enjoy doing it? Not, well, my mate's going to think I'm cool or not. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, totally.
So I think, it's good that you enjoy it, which is really important. And it's really important to the business. And as you say, I think this is going to become more and more important. I think the conversations around security and how to use AI in the right ways we're just at the tip of the iceberg on those, I think, really, for where things are heading.
Yeah, I think very well said. And that leads me on to my question. How do you feel about the efficacy in AI at the moment, and how the future is quite unclear on what restrictions can be put in it and what laws can be put in place around just how much control it can have over the workplace and over the arts especially?
Great question. That's a very philosophical question.
Sorry, yeah.
We've gone deep.
Sorry, yeah, I can...
Yeah,
I can pull it back if you want.
I'm not sure. I think at the moment, if you ignore some of the press around recent agents going off and creating their own cults and everything,
I'm yet to see that.
at the moment, it's all within our power, right? So
totally.
We control the guardrails. So with regards to arts, then I see it as enhancing art rather than replacing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, very philosophical question.
It's a hard one on the arts, isn't it? Because I've had this debate before in that people say, oh, well, if it's going to kind of go and create music, for example, it understands all the music that's already ever been created. Well, also, so do we to an extent of what we've heard and can be inspired by. So if you like a particular piece of music and then you want to go and create music, you're going to take inspiration from it. Obviously, what we can't have is AI copying things. We can't go, well, you've just ripped off that thing that already exists. But actually, they're taking inspiration from, and it's how do you manage that? Because
I think I read something as well about, I can't remember when it was, but like some new drum kit came out, right, some time ago, 80s probably.
Yeah.
And all the drummers feared that they'd never need to drum again. There was a machine that was going to drum for them. But what it actually did was made them rethink about how they use a computer to improve their drumming and create new musical styles. Yeah. So I think we still need drummers now, right?
Yeah.
Some music is purely electronic, but yeah, we still need drummers. So I see it as a way as enhancing artists rather than replacing them. That fact that nothing is kind of new and original, you could say the same about music going round circular, potentially. But yeah, I think it's when artists harness it and they use their brain to police it and treat it in a way that it's a tool, not a replacement, then I think we'll still have AI for good in the arts.
Yeah, and I think like it does come back to the media hype around AI. I think like especially for your generation, it feels quite scary at the moment that what jobs are there going to be?
Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
but there are going to be jobs. It's going to be working with AI, and yes, it will be taking out some of the roles. Like, for example, we already know that the job you started in doing, no one does that anymore because it's not needed. But that doesn't mean you've not ended up being able to have a job. It's just jobs evolve, and I think that's going to be the same with AI. I think we're all going to get to do a lot more fun and interesting work than actually some of the more mundane things that actually AI can just tick over and do those things for us.
Exactly, yeah. There'll be AI specific roles, like AI policemen that we kind of have talked about, right?
Yeah.
People to set new government legislation around AI, build it, run it, data centers, all those kind of things. There'll be tons of new roles, but you are right. It will in the short term replace manual based roles that aren't necessarily required anymore.
Just a quick note from me. We'd love you to hit the subscribe button. This helps us more than you might realise when it comes to growing this podcast, ensuring we can bring you the best guests possible. Thank you. Back to the episode. But I think it frees up that headspace to think for me. Like, that's one of the ways we're embracing it here is like, how can we use AI to make space for human brilliance? Like, actually, you can be more creative if you're not stuck in the weeds of doing stuff. So,
and we see so we're experimenting with intelligent code assistants. So we had to write and maintain quite a lot of code ourselves. And early stages says like design phase can be 30% quicker with AI coding, right? Because there's set standards that the code must follow. There's best practice that's already documented. So having a human just punch that out is not an efficient way of doing it. If they're able to spend 30% less time doing that, they can start reviewing bug fixes and things that go wrong rather than the mundane. So it's giving them back more time to focus on things that are more challenging, that human brains are better than doing, rather than just a lot of manual copy paste work. So even though it's not loading tapes and printing checks anymore, there's still a lot of manual work that goes on in IT and tech that AI can help with.
Yeah. Are you seeing AI help get ideas out quicker because you can get a proof of concept really quickly to then work out, is this worth running forward with? Yeah,
totally. That fail fast, quick demo, vibe coding in a day, build an app. This is one of the things that I do show off to my mates at the pub in my job. Because they go, oh, that's cool. Because we'll just build a pub quiz app or a flag app or something like that. But yeah, if you imagine back when I started building an app like that, right, you'd have to go and buy servers. You'd have to install them in the data center. You'd have to connect wires. You'd have to install hard disks. Now, with a few prompts, crafted well, you can get an app, maybe not production enterprise ready, but at least you can show somebody, I've seen your use case, your problem statement. This is the type of thing I think we could use to solve it. And then what happens is when you get technical people and business people working together, that's how you solve real business problems. If you just let the text do it, they won't understand the business problem, and the business people don't necessarily have the skills in building enterprise systems. So it's that combination of product and business people and technical developers, when they come together with AI and they can produce something quickly, that's how you get stuff moving really fast.
Cool. Love that. I think the thing that scares me with that is just that people, for example, in your business will absolutely know this, and people in mine will, but that once you've done that bit of vibe coding, that isn't production ready, and that we shouldn't then be just launching those things into the ether going, oh, I built an app and it's ready in a day, because actually there is a lot more to consider around it, ensuring it's secure, ensuring we've considered everything we need to consider. So that's but I guess we're gonna go on a journey with that, and we'll learn.
Some are going to fail. Some are going to fall over. We're going to have outages. Like, all that stuff's going to happen. We'll need people to clear all that up, and then we'll refine practices and improve. And people will understand. Oh, okay. Vibe coding is for quick demo, not business critical application.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to butt in, but I actually don't know what vibe coding means.
Okay.
Good point then. Let's go back.
So vibe coding is you're interacting with a natural interface like ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And you are asking it to build you something, an application. Okay. And you can start with just a simple prompt. So you could say, build me a calorie tracking application.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And it will just craft some code to get you a working demonstration. Now, with that limited amount of information, what it blurts out could be something that works, looks nice, but it might not be production ready because you've not given it enough context about how you want the system to behave. So vibe coding is really good for showing someone like a UI or how a system might work or look from a prototype and proof of concept point of view, not suitable for running in production.
Okay. Yeah.
But we do have an emerging practice called spec-driven design.
Interesting.
Which is, you still would talk to an AI coding assistant in the same way, but you would say, I want to build an application, and it will ask you questions around how do you want it to behave? What are your non-functional requirements? What's the security context? And then it will go off and it will write you some specifications. And then your product manager will review those. And this is where the human in the loop comes in, because they will say, yep, that meets the business problem. And then it will write you a design. And then your architect will say, yep, I'm happy with that design. It meets all of the quality criteria I need for design. And then it will build you a set of tasks. And you can let the agent go and do the tasks and build the system. But the difference between spec-driven design and vibe coding is you have humans in the right place in the process that they can sign things off, essentially, that the AI has performed. And that's going to create more robust, resilient, secure systems than just saying, build me an app.
Yeah. Did vibe coding exist before large language models existed? I know that might sound silly if the answer is no, but...
Not really, no. So large language models give people the ability to interact in natural language. And vibe coding is that, so it needs a large language model behind it to understand. But it also can take existing code into its context to help understand and get an understanding of an existing application, for example. You might want to add a new feature to an existing application, and you could use vibe coding for that.
Okay. Because previously, if you wanted to kind of demo something, you'd do it by kind of wireframe designing it and like talking through. You'd have to go, so imagine when you click here, this will happen. And then you could get some clickable wireframes. But to actually get to the point where you've got technology working behind to give you an output, you're kind of having to build the thing at that point before vibe coding existed. So it was really hard. Like proof of concepts really were just kind of getting something to beta. You really would have to invest in it. Whereas now it's like, well, actually, I can literally have an idea when I wake up in the morning, and by the end of the day go, well, I've got a proof of concept of how this might work.
Yeah, and the key thing is, right, you show that to your stakeholders and they say, that looks amazing, that's got legs, fine, let's go away and come back. Or no, not worth it, totally rubbish, put it in the bin, and you've lost half a day rather than losing weeks of development time or design time. So I think that's where it comes into its own.
What are the most important skills in your job now? So I guess there's the technical side of it, but what other skills do you bring every single day?
So at the moment, I would say prompt engineering, in terms of understanding how to craft prompts. So in your everyday AI, that's really important if you want to get the right output from things like Copilot or ChatGPT. But also when you are building enterprise systems, you need to be able to craft system prompts and prompt templates so that you get sometimes you need a consistent output. And larger language models are non-deterministic by nature. You can ask the same question twice and you'll get two different responses. That won't work in the real business world if you're doing a benefits assessment for someone. You want the same or similar, fair responses. So you can do that through prompt engineering and refining and iterative. So that's really important. And I think building on that, a more recent skill and technique is context engineering. So how you then bring in data from external systems into work with the prompt and the large language model, so you can add specific context to whatever the AI system is doing. So they're top two. What never goes away from modern IT at the moment is cloud skills, understanding how IT systems work, uptime, resilience, security, all those kind of things. Cloud skills, AWS, Azure, Salesforce, ServiceNow, all the big players there are highly desirable skills in our organisation at the moment.
What about like the communication side of it? Because I guess the thing with IT is people always I don't want to get a complicated answer that I'm not going to understand. or I don't just want the simple turn it off and on and get it, but like conversing across, you've got 35,000 people in the organisation and you need to communicate the importance of what you do, what you need them to do, etc. Is that important to your role, or is there are there other roles around your role that do that communication piece more so?
Yeah, so we have like corporate comms teams, but communication is vital in like written format, speaking format. If you you really need to build trust within your organisation, and you can only do that by talking to people. So yeah, they're vital skills that are required in IT, particularly in AI, when you're having to bring in people who don't understand necessarily the technical side of it, and having to explain that in layman's terms to business people or contact center operatives. You know, you need to tell them not necessarily to trust what the AI says all the time, and the importance of understanding that it's the human sometimes that is important in agreeing with a decision or not. So yeah, those softer skills are vital. I'd say building relationships and networking is vitally important inside the organisation, with customers, with partners. Like, you don't have to do it all on your own. There are so many networks where you can go learn about new tech and AI and cloud and all that kind of stuff, and they're free. Like, there's meetups in Kent and Sussex. You can just go along and learn about the new tech. So yeah, all of that networking is really important.
Because I guess you're working in a space that literally in a year's time things will be different. Like, and you can't really predict that. You can have some ideas on where it's going, but new things will come. Legislation will come as well, and yeah, suddenly what was right today becomes wrong tomorrow. It's
so we have like new law like the EU AI Act, which is coming out. We're Capita trying to get ahead of the curve on that. It's certain parts come into effect at different times, but our clients are already asking us about it, so we have to make sure that we're building compliance systems that comply with those legislation. You're right.
It's fun.
Yeah. Are you specifically keen for that act to come in, or are you more like, my job would be so much easier if they just didn't bother?
No, I think keeping AI for good is really important, and the Act supports that. Right, it's designed to make sure that when systems make decisions, they are done in accordance with human law, basically. Right, don't give the computers the full rights. Let's not end up with a dystopian future where computers run the whole world. So it is for good. It creates more work for us, but we embrace that, because ultimately it's just about us being transparent with our clients about the systems that we're deploying. So yeah, awesome. I support it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes it easier when there's kind of rules and regulations around some of this stuff, because it takes away the shouldn't I? Is this the right way? It's like, no, actually, here's the way that we're all businesses and all humans are acting upon, and we know that we're doing it in the right way. So I think that makes things easier sometimes, as much as it adds layers of work. But I imagine an organisation like Capita are probably also consulting with government and giving feedback and advising back from the organisation as to what should be in there and what's the right ways to do things. I think like governments don't go and make these decisions on their own. I've seen that more and more. Like, I sit on the government's Digital Skills Council, and so much is coming from industry to help guide government on this rapidly changing space. So it's I mean, I find it so exciting. Like, I know a lot of people are scared of it, and I guess it makes it harder. That communication piece is probably harder as well, because you've got media stirring up things and adding concern, and so some of your employees within the company are probably hearing things and then come to work and go, oh, John's team keep telling us use more AI and use this product, and it's like, oh, I don't like it because I'm hearing in the media I shouldn't. I'm worried about it. But it's it's definitely a balance of making sure people realise they can't fully trust these systems to like, don't give them your bank details and whatnot, but actually the line to walk upon to be able to get the most out of it and to feel the benefit of it.
Yeah, totally. So responsible AI, I think, is probably the overall thing, right? Everyone needs to use it responsibly. System developers, consumers, I think that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah. I often see, because we're connected on LinkedIn, I see things pop up. You've got new certifications, AWS, etc. It is lifelong learning working in tech, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for me. Like, that's I use certificates and certifications as a validation of my skills. So if I don't book myself for an exam or a certificate, then how do I know that I'm ever going to do it? So I kind of like embrace the I don't mind if I fail attitude, right? Because if I do fail, I'll get a retake, and I will learn more from that failure probably than I will from passing any certification or test, because having to go back and study improves my learning experience basically. So the exams that I have failed in the past, having to go back and learn the content that I failed on, I now know those areas really, really well.
Yeah. If
I'd got them right first time, I probably would have just skimmed over and just learnt enough. Okay, so it's about not fearing failure in any exam, and I know it's different. That's where it's different in a business context with these technical certifications than it is at school and stuff, because they seem to carry so much weight and gravitas. And I think outside of work, just go and take as many exams as you want, because employers really want to see certifications. It benefits them in two ways. It helps them validate that you are qualified to a certain extent in technical, but also when an organisation has skilled people, they can get more funding from people in terms of the cloud providers and helping you win business. So bringing certifications at interview stage, employers really want to see that.
And are these things that someone like Dylan could just go and look up and start kind of learning about and taking some of these certifications with the different providers out there?
Yeah, so most of the learning is available for free online for Amazon and Microsoft and Google, etc. Exams carry a cost. I think there are student discounts available for some exams and some providers. But yeah, most of the training is available online. And you can also just use your Copilot, your ChatGPT, to help you learn on topics as well. Because just treat it as your Copilot buddy if you don't understand a specific topic. But yeah, I'd encourage everyone to just go and follow workshops. That's my favourite way of learning. So rather than just reading trawls and trawls of doing stuff, actually follow the workshop. Get yourself an AWS account or a Google account. Deploy a workload. Learn how you do it. Break it. Fix it, that kind of thing, right?
It's the best way though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Staring at a blank screen trying to figure out what happens after school or college, university, apprenticeships, T-levels, it's a lot to take in. But what if you could speak directly to the people who are actually hiring? NAS Events brings you events like the National Apprenticeship Show, London School and College Leavers Show, and many more. They run the UK's top career events designed specifically for students aged 15 and up. These aren't just your boring careers fairs, we're talking interactive hands-on experiences where you can meet the country's biggest employers and top universities face to face. Whether you're looking for an entry-level role, a degree apprenticeship, or a pathway into higher education, this is a regional show near you. From London and Bristol to Scotland and Newcastle. The best part, it's completely free to attend. Don't just scroll through job descriptions, come and try out new skills, get expert advice, and find career paths that actually fit you. Ready to take the next step? Head over to nasevents.co.uk to find the nearest event and register for your free place today.
As an A-level student, do you think I should start going for these certificates now, or do you think I should wait until I've finished my primary studies and while I may be going onto the apprenticeship route or looking for work to do it?
So I would say don't compromise on the really important exams,
Okay, yeah.
like those. However, I would say learn the content.
Yeah.
If you feel you cannot compromise, if you feel you in your spare time outside of your study, I would say get the certifications if you can.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, at least like the foundational ones, because when you want to go to speak to an employer, it's really kind of that validation of skills basically is the important bit. Yeah,
it's going to show that you've really pushed yourself at that point to go, I didn't have to do this, I've taken up some weekends to do this, but I did, I've gone out there and I also understand it more, I've shown that I've got a propensity to learn further on than just the classroom, because I think like we have to go to school, we have to do certain things, whereas actually if you've gone, I've just gone and done this because I think this is going to be helpful. You've
got real passion for it.
Yeah.
And then one step further, if you can go there, I also built this proof of concept on this either business scenario I made up or this really painful experience I had in applying for a permit or something that I read about on the news that I really wanted to help, right? If you can take that certification, validation of skills, knowledge you've earned, and then build a system that displays your learning and explain the system and the benefit and impact it could bring, then that's next level. That's really impactful.
Yeah. And it's things like that. Like we've had it before where people have applied and they've given us a portfolio of work and shown us things more than someone else that when we've not actually had a job, I've been like, get them in. We need to talk to them because we will find a job for this person because we're showing that they're really pushing themselves. They're not just waiting for the next opportunity. They're throwing themselves out there to get the next opportunity. So in whatever that means for anyone listening, for the different types of things you might want to go into, the more you can do your proof of concepts, build up the portfolio, show you've pushed yourself, it's always going to help. Did you have any misconceptions about work when you were kind of 16, 17, that now you're like, of course it's not like that, but that's what I thought it was going to be?
No, I think the opposite. I think I've just felt so I was at a crossroads, university or work. That's what I was at, basically. I didn't have a great learning experience at school, so I didn't really want to do any more learning. At that age, I thought I could just go do it all myself, right?
Yeah. I was the same.
That was the big, right? Why do I need somebody else telling me how I'm going to do stuff? I'm just going to go and do it myself. And I think I still have had people help me, tell me what I should be doing, but that's more in a mentorship kind of, oh my God, that person that I'm working with is amazing. They've got either great technical skills or they're great in front of a customer, or I want a bit of that. So I think I definitely made the right choice in taking the work avenue. But the learning that I've had later on has come as a part of, I just needed to get out and just try and create my own identity of a hard worker. That's what I really wanted to do when I left school.
Love it. And mentoring, how's that kind of shown up in your life? Has that been someone at work and like actually asking them, can you mentor me? Or is it more informal than that you're just kind of soaking it up and looking at, I like the way they do that, I could try and do that?
Yeah. So mentorship, like me being the mentor, people come and ask me. So that's something that I've had over the last few years across different areas of the business, which has been great learning experience for me. Me being the mentee, I literally just I don't ask them. I just
insert yourself in.
Yeah. I'll just say that difficult conversation you had with a customer. How did you do that? How did you prep for that? And just constant questions. Like, I hope you don't mind me asking. And most of the times they're kind of close relationships anyway. I think you need that close relationship to be able to get the most out of mentorship. So they've always been willing to help. But yeah, just find traits that you find inspiring from your colleagues, and then just ask them how they do it. That's been my approach.
Yeah. People are so willing to help, aren't they?
Yeah, because they themselves don't know that they're just like, oh well, I didn't think I had that skill, or I didn't think that somebody else wanted to be like me and with that attribute. But they do.
Yeah.
But they just don't realise.
When it's interesting, your point around like you actually being the mentor, you've found that really a lovely process. Same here, in that you grow so much through helping other people to learn, because it makes you really kind of hypersensitive to what actually you are doing and what you're good at, that otherwise you're just moving through life and you're not even really thinking about it. So it's both sides of the coin are really powerful.
Yeah. Just to switch the conversation slightly, with creating systems, my dad's in project management. Mm-hmm. So I hear all the time about he specialises in making systems for Workday, and that's why people hire him. I don't know how much of everyone in the business in some perspective understands Workday, but that's all I've heard about for my whole childhood. I'm making systems for Workday. What are these systems, Dad? The systems for Workday. And then he uses a bunch of 5-syllable words to describe what he's doing, and he shows me a website and he's like, this is my system, and it looks like a custom Gmail inbox to me. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, so Workday is typically like I think it's called like a human capital management, right? It manages your workforce. And that's what's typically called a SaaS, or software as a service. So the computers and wires are managed by other people in the cloud, and it's a configured system. So yeah, I don't know exactly what your dad's doing, but I'm guessing he's helping customers make the most out of configuring Workday for their business needs. So that could be hiring people, their annual review process, all the things that you would expect in an HR system.
Okay, cool. How similarly, or how does that translate to the systems you create in?
Yeah, so we do use Workday at Capita for the same reasons, and we use other SaaS systems as well to manage other parts of our organisation. We're not in the business of developing those kind of systems ourselves.
Of course. Yeah.
What we will do is potentially build agents that interact with them.
Okay. Yeah.
So we may have an agent that might be an onboarding agent. Yeah, that's somebody new into the organisation.
Yeah.
We'll help get them a laptop, do their SC clearance, put them in the right team, allocate them in the right cost centre. So in this case, there would be an agent that would be interacting with an application like Workday. And you have to build the secure connectivity, because you don't want to be able to create an agent that can approve your CEO's annual leave, for example, right? It has to have the right security and guardrails in place. So yeah, that's what we're seeing with AI development and SaaS platforms.
Oh.
Love it. And what's next for you? Like, when you look forward, what do you think, like, have you got your eye on another leap in your career, or is it just trying to work out what's coming with AI? And
I never try and look too far ahead. Like the question, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, cheekily, I always said, Barbados with my dog, having a cocktail. Who doesn't?
Can I come?
So I never look too far ahead, but I'm constantly scanning for opportunity. I don't know where I'll be going to be in 5 years, and that's fine, because in this world it changes so much. It's constant transformation. Our business and industry is constantly transforming. There are always opportunities. That's my approach.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And if you could roll back to 16-year-old John, what do you wish he knew?
Probably stocks in Nvidia, or
That's such a good one.
I'd say I think for quite a long time I've had imposter syndrome and fear of failure. They've been my two things that I wouldn't say hold me back, but imposter syndrome is natural for everyone. We talked about mentorship and you not realizing you had skills that you had. I'd say, like, embrace it, because use it to kind of make sure you're comfortable in the areas you're uncomfortable, definitely. And then fear of failure as well. Failure is okay, as long as you can learn from it. So embrace it and find a way of managing failure. Like, if you don't have a way to manage failure, you're not gonna be very happy in the things that you do. But learn how to fail, and then learn from that failure, and kind of manage it in a way that you treat it as a positive thing. That's really important. So I would say, go for that. Be more experimental.
Love that. I've even heard there's people that have got jobs that are like head of failure, like where companies actually want to fail fast and want to learn from it, because if you're not failing fast, you could be failing slowly, which is going to be much more damaging to the business. And actually you just want to go, well, what have I learned from this? And let's dust ourselves off and go again. Yeah,
there are exceptions to this rule, which is probably like, school level exams, etc.
Yeah. We want to get those right.
Yeah, because there are some circumstances where you do kind of get less chances.
Make or break.
Yeah.
I get that.
Any other questions from you, Dylan?
I'm obviously going to be out of A-levels next year. What's the first thing you think I should do?
I think you should go and speak to companies you'd be interested in working for.
Okay.
Research companies, find out what they're about, what their values are, find something that matches your values, and then just start being able to evidence what you can do.
Follow-up question. I promise this is my last one.
You're all right.
I see companies having values, and I went to Google, and we came in with my computing class, and I saw they had their values up on the board, and all I could ever think, and I'm sure this is the thought of a lot of students, are these really reflected in everyday work? Like, do they mean anything, do you think? Like at your company, is there?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think?
Yes. So like the golden thread, right, is we live our values almost daily. So
Really?
and our values and our mission are about creating better company with better technology, better efficiency, sort of the betters. They're kind of our core values and purpose. And that is the one thing that keeps, like Becky said, 35,000 people. How do you make sure they're all pulling the ship in the right direction?
Yeah.
Values and are what do that. Otherwise, it's chaos. So yes, companies do live them. Literally, they do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You'll find some companies don't live them properly and they are just something on the wall. But
Successful
that's probably,
companies.
yeah, the successful ones. And that's the thing, because you can feel it. Like, we've got a set of values and people often say they feel it when they walk into our environment or they spend time in our company. They just ooze out of people when it's done well. So actually, I think if you ever go to a company where it's written on the wall but it doesn't feel like it's lived, well, you should probably turn around and walk back out the other way, because that's kind of just paying lip service to values.
Yeah.
But actually, when it's done right, and I love your answer there, because it was just with such confidence.
It's hopeful, because I went to Google, and the thing I was laughing to my mate Thomas about was Google's original motto. It was like, don't be evil, wasn't it? It was literally just one line, and they changed it in 2019 to try to not be evil. And I just think that was the biggest, wow, is it just there for show? I really appreciate your answer, genuinely.
No, I think values are really important, and making sure they align with you, because businesses will hire and fire on values. They'll reward on them. If it's done properly, it's built into everything. And sometimes someone will get exited from the business because you don't fit our values, and you're probably finding it quite hard to work here because you're kind of rubbing up against the way we do things. It's not how you want to do things. There'll be a company out there that suits you. Go find that place. So I think if you can find it from day one that it matches who you are and you can talk about that confidently, then you're going to be a really good fit. And that's a great thing to bring up in an interview as well.
Yeah.
I've read up on your values. This is how I already see that I'm living them in how I deliver my
100%.
schoolwork, or how I've come up with this project, or even in my part-time job, how I bring these to life. So, love values. That was brilliant.
That is an interview quick, massive tick, definitely. If you can reflect back how you would embody a company's values when in an interview process, or what you've already done that's considered them, that's they're gonna put a big green tick next to
gold dust.
Cool.
And if you're answering the questions before they even ask them, because they'll probably have a question that leads into that, then even better. It's like, this guy's ahead of us. This guy, he was born to work here. So
but like Becky said, make sure they align with your views selves, because there's nothing if a company's value is maximise profit over customer experience, then
we don't know where
there will be companies that have that, not probably written down corporately, but you need to make sure that they align with you, because that's ultimately their identity. That's what they want to be known as. So make sure they do align.
Love that. A good point to end on, I think. John, you've been fantastic.
Thank you
so much. I feel like we've learnt loads.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And Dylan, you've been wonderful as a co-host.
Thank you.
I look forward to you coming back and joining us again soon.
Yeah.
And to our audience, you've been wonderful. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to seeing you on another Behind the Future episode. That concludes another brilliant episode of Behind the Future. Thank you so much for listening. You can listen back to other episodes on YouTube or your podcast platform of choice. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, as that will help us to grow this podcast, ensuring we can get the best guests on here for you to learn from. You can also follow us on socials, linked in the show notes for exclusive content. See you on the next episode.